250 years. If we add 250 years to the supposed date of the release of Satan, we have 1776 plus 250. That's 2026. But here's the next level to this. The scriptures say that no one knows the day or the hour of the return of Messiah, his second return. But what about the timing of the end of this little season? Perhaps it's possible to know the day or hour. A true year in Scripture is 364 days. 365 divided or multiplied by 250 is 91,250 days. That's 365 times. Okay. And then 364 divided by 250 is 91,000 days. We lose 250 days with the 364-day years. Ooh! What? So what is 91,000 days from July 4th, 1776? This takes us back to 2025. Into 2025, the exact date being August 28th, 2025. Thinking either further, if these dates are possible, how would we change our lives? I've always been in the mindset of having many more years, but how would we be acting? And what should we be saying if we only had months or a year?
May your speech salt.
Wait a minute, what?
May your speech be seasoned with salt.
Oh, goodness, yeah. Wow. Someone sent that to me. I must have them blocked, or they have me blocked or something, but I can't access the post. I could try to send it to someone, because this person's not telling me who the post is from. Jeremy, could you pull this up? I'll send it to Sarah, Jennifer.
Yeah, sweetie.
Okay. Check out what I just sent you on Facebook. Because that's, wow. No man knows the day or hour, but what about the little season? I mean, I guess it could be for both or for final judgment, but if we could know when Satan was released,
we would know the season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who posted that link? Do you see it?
Yeah, Trisha Brooks.
Trisha Brooks?
Yeah, I invited her to our chat before because she was interested in the calendar and she knows about the little season as well.
Why am I blocked?
Are you
Ask her to unblock me, because I'll check my...
You're blocked by her?
Well, it appears I can't access the link.
Huh.
Is she a Paula?
Who is she? Who's Trisha Brooks?
I don't remember.
I've been friends with her for quite a while.
I have 38 mutual friends with her, but I don't know who she is.
I've been friends with her a while on Facebook. Like I don't know her personally or anything. We've talked here and there. Mostly about the calendar and the little season.
Does she get the calendar?
She does. She knows the Zadok, and I think she does it starting her year, at the Takufa, like a lot of people try to do. I'm not
What?
100% though.
Yeah,
Like
I don't know
Well,
her.
we start the year on the Takufa.
no, like
After the
how
Takufa?
yes,
Like the
that's
day
what I meant.
after.
Sorry. Yes. Sorry. Yes. Like
Yeah,
Dustin
she
Hoffman
must
did.
have me blocked because I don't see her in my feed.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, ask her to
Well,
unblock me.
yeah,
But
I'll
that
send a
that's
message.
interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Huh.
August? 2025 would be when it's over.
Well, we'll see.
I mean, that's awfully close.
Just before Sukkot. Does that line up with what that dude was saying? Those events that were lining up on the Zadok calendar?
Yeah, could be. I wonder if he took that down. I mean, I wouldn't still have it if it was taken down. It wouldn't line up because August is way before October.
Yeah.
Katrina, when you sent that message to Fig Tree Generation, they never responded to you? Because you sent it to me. Like I said, I've kind of taken a little break from social media for a bit, so I'm just looking at your messages right now on Messenger, and you sent me a comment. What you commented on their Daniel study, mentioning about the calendar. Have they ever responded to you?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I would have sent it to you.
Okay.
Let's see. Is that on Face? What was it? Victory.
It was on Messenger, and it is on one of their Daniel studies because that was the same one I was wanting to respond in the comments because they were
Could
talking
you
a little.
tag me in the message so it could jump my memory here?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could. Let me just send you back what you sent me a while back. Okay, hang on. But yeah, that was I think that was the study that when they were going a little bit into the calendar, and I was wanting to share the document that Jeremy had put together, but they didn't want any comments in any way because it was the calendar. And so I had to respond in the comments on a different study.
Oh, that Fig Tree Generation video? Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It was the
Yeah,
one they were going over. They were going over the calendar.
they were,
For,
and but they didn't allow anybody to post anything because it is a heated topic with a lot of people, and they just did it for that reason. They didn't want any arguing going on or anything. And I said, hey, I completely understand. So I sent your link of your document to them on a different video of theirs, and said, hey, I totally understand why you did what you did on that one, but I just wanted to share this with you. Look into it, and get in touch with us or with Jeremy or Katrina. So that's why I was wondering if they ever contacted you guys. This was, oh my goodness, a few months or so back.
I don't think I've gotten anything from them. I haven't seen anything from anybody.
Okay. Maybe they're just really taking their time to look into it. But I think they also believe that we're not going to have everything right when it comes to the calendar. We won't get it exactly perfect. We could be close. I think that's what one of the comments they made. I don't know if they still believe that or not.
Yeah, and so I think that's that excuse that goes around that makes it think, oh, we're never gonna find the calendar. Well, that's just not true. Like, we don't have all the answers about the calendar,
Right.
but I do believe, we have found it because
Yeah.
this is what's lining up with everything.
Oh, sure. There's too many coincidences to be a coincidence. There's just too
Yeah,
much lining up. Yeah.
how many coincidences does it need to be before it becomes a fact?
Right,
But,
right.
yeah.
I've always said, why would y'all tell you to keep the feast and the commandments if you couldn't keep them?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Even though he did say he would cause us to forget or not to remember
sure.
and take it from us, but I definitely believe we're in the time where he is revealing it to those that are truly have a open heart to want to know. and to
Sure.
follow him.
100%. Yes.
He did say
Yeah.
he'd raise us up in the last days. So,
Yeah.
Yep,
Because,
and many things that were hidden will come to light.
yes.
yeah, you could see the veil. You could see the very clear scripture that we are coming to, and not many can. It's so obvious. It's like we're reading the same book. We're reading, just like even with poor Robert. We always pick on Robert, but we're looking at the same scrolls. We have the Zadok calendar. But to give up and be so blind and literally expose yourself and not being able to answer any questions or have a conversation, it just really is so telling to me. And, with our families, our own families, every single day of our lives.
Well, I've noticed in the calendar movement, once somebody thinks that they've got it all together, is when pride steps in and y'all resist them. And then it's like they can't get the other pieces they need to get.
Oh, yes.
Right, which is why I love this group so much, is because they're still asking, seeking, knocking. Like, we'll always, Jeremy and I, everyone here, will always say, we don't have it 100%, but we are so close. And he
Praise Yah.
I think it's, we are confident because we have confirmation. Right?
Yeah.
To say that we have it 100% correct is not what, it's not what we're saying.
It's no room is leaving. If we say we have it 100% correct, then we're saying there's no more room left to be corrected.
Yeah.
And then me personally, I would never feel comfortable being able to say that to that extent, because every time I thought I had everything perfect, open mouth, insert foot.
Right.
Right. But, when it comes to this, why are you so confident in it? It's because there's so much backing it up. So
yeah,
when
you have too many witnesses. A lot
when
of
your
witnesses
foundation is when your foundation is built on sand and out of context verses and mistranslations and this, that, and you think that you put it all together without using all the resources that Yah gave us to have, like we went through all of the resources to be able to, debunk Jasher, debunk Second Enoch.
To
To
debunk
be
the
able to,
Sefer.
yeah, we did,
Gosh,
yeah,
the
we
Sefer.
did the work, you know, and it's not like, yeah, we are sitting here saying, oh, well, this is it, because we still, every single day, are expecting Yah to reveal something more. Because that's what he's been doing, and that's what we're welcoming. But we're not, we're following the cloud, not the crowd. You know? We're saying goodbye to traditions of men. And we're doing the right thing. And he just keeps confirming it to us in so many ways, and it's beautiful. I mean, I still want to know how to do the stars. That aspect of
Yeah,
it.
that's where we're lacking. We're lacking.
Yeah.
Myself included.
Yeah. That's where I feel as though we could do better. I mean, we have enough to be able to say, oh, okay, well, this sign proves it's Passover, so it's correct. But it's like, all right, well, there's got to be some kind of sign that marks the days. So if you wake up on a deserted island, you can find the day, the month, or whatever have you. And Marissa mentioned the solar month, so we can, technically. I just don't like the idea of waiting a whole year to get to the equinox to be able to count the time. Does that make sense?
Yes, because it's supposed to be calculated.
Yeah, precisely.
If something goes wacko in the sun, or something blocks out the sun, then what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You wasn't numbering your days. You were depending on something that y'all put there for a short period of time, so you can learn how to calculate and count count your numbers.
So is what you're saying that we need to be able to do it without the sun, the moon, and stars at this point?
No, not at this point. But yeah, it's coming.
No. I mean, I'm sorry, I worded that wrong. So if the sun was to black out, we're still supposed to, at this point, at least having the calendar that we have, number the days.
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah. So we know that today is the month 4. Obviously, it's the Sabbath. But it's also the 25th day of the month. So it's the 4th and the 25th. So blackout comes tomorrow. We know it's the 25th of the month. And we know how to count it from there. So even if we lose the sun, boom, we have the count correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, our authority is Zadok. They were the ones that kept the calendar for us. I know they're mere man, but Messiah proved that they were the priesthood that we were to follow.
Yeah, they have the authority here on earth, and Messiah has the authority in the heavens. So while we're still on earth, we still are following the sons of Zadok, because that's who Yahuah ordained to keep these things. And we have the writings, and the writings lay out the calendar. So, I mean, it's really not difficult. It's just men and their calculations make everything difficult. So we have to filter through all that garbage to get to the truth, But yeah, no, it's good stuff. Yeah, teach to number our days in Psalms. Yeah,
Jeremy,
Psalms is very.
see if you could get me unblocked by that Trisha.
Yeah, I'll work on it. I'll send her a message.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know why she has you blocked. Weren't you friends with her?
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Yeah. It could have been about Satan's Little Season a long time ago when I wasn't on board with it. Could be about Paul. I have a feeling it's about Paul.
No, she believes Paul is correct.
Is it remarriage adultery? Could be that.
I don't know if
That's a
she's married. I
stinger.
think she's.
Yeah, that one is a real kicker with a lot of people.
Yeah, that one's a
The
stinger.
marriage adultery. Oh, because so many people are ignorantly, in that situation.
Right, they don't really understand.
No, not at all. I haven't for the longest time.
Yeah. Yeah. When you see all the verses and when you put them all together, it's no brainer. But that's what Hasatan does. He can't curse the people, but he'll make them curse themselves. And
it's
this
one of the
is the one
commands.
topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one topic.
Yeah. Oh my.
Right. Right. And I probably watched every remarriage adultery teaching that ever existed. About 5 years ago, Yah put me on this path of uncovering all this. And he sat me through every single remarriage adultery teaching that could ever become, that ever was made. Let me tell you, you'll find me in the comments if they didn't delete it. But, yeah, I tested every single one. And I saw what every single one of them did. And how they manipulated the scriptures and how they literally projected their own ideas to it. How they inserted, like the putting away versus certificate of divorce one. Oh my gosh, that one's so silly. That one's so stupid. All of them, all the different theories. I literally went and was able to get to the bottom of. And then also, what was fabulous, my favorite part of, I mean, this is a tough subject, but my favorite part of actually learning about this all was he gave me all of the testimonials. So every morning at 4:00 in the morning, he woke me up. I could hear my name. And he woke me up and he said, Katrina, that's all I got. But it woke me up. And I turned on YouTube to see what he wanted me to do. I would go into scripture sometimes too, but the YouTube, he would have testimonials about all the people that stayed in their situations. Like if they were married, they would stay in the situations and all the testimonials that were glory be to Yahuah, that they prayed and stayed fast with their covenant spouses, and they came, and I hundreds, I mean more than hundreds I've witnessed, and it was a sealer on the matter. Like I saw his glory when the wives or the husbands would stay with their covenant spouse, and he would change their whole lives around because of their faith.
Wow, that's incredible.
But when we give up on our spouse, when we say, oh, he committed adultery, oh, she committed adultery, or oh, they did this A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Oh, they, went into Freemasonry work, and they were doing sacrifices. They were doing this. They were doing, I've heard the gamut of things that covenant spouses were doing. I've heard it all. But if you stayed fast with them and you were with them until the end, he does change the heart and mind, and then they come back with double fold. So like one personal instance I always like to talk about is when my friend I mentioned her husband got into Freemasonry stuff, like sacrifices, Mason stuff. And it was brutal for years. And she prayed for him. She interceded on his behalf. She didn't give up on him. She just kept doing her job as a wife, as a one flesh partner, like praying, interceding. And one day he broke out of it and he came to Torah, and then they both came to Torah, and it was just, they weren't even in covenant at the time. They didn't even know about Torah, but she just knew that this is what she had to do to save her husband, to save her one flesh partner. But a lot of people want to not do that, give up on them, judge them, right? And when, judge lest you be judged. At that point, when you judge their salvation like that and give up on the covenant that you made without them being dead, you're guilty. You're 100% guilty.
Hey, Katrina, would you be open to sharing this, one of these Sabbaths?
Yeah.
I would
I would love to.
I would love to hear your presentation on it.
Yeah. I love walking. Your daughter actually got it when I walked through Matthew 19, and she's like, oh, I never saw it like that. But
yeah, but if
you
you could
have to.
present that to us, that would be awesome. One of these
No, I
Sabbaths.
can.
Okay.
I can. I love this. I'm really passionate about it because I know it's such a big deal, just as much as the calendar and just as much as,
Well,
I mean,
yeah, it says thou shalt not commit adultery.
any command out there, like this has got to be one of the,
one of the
I think I
hardest
know.
ones for sure.
Yeah. I feel like I get this more than I understand the calendar because it's just so clear. Even Yahuah, when in Jeremiah, he said, I'm going to, I divorce you, Israel, and I'm giving you a certificate of divorce. And then he does that, and it's like he's begging and pleading for her to repent and return, but I'm your husband. Look at what I did for you. Like all those things. He's like several times. Even after he gave her a certificate of divorce, he said, but I am still your husband. Several times. And to me, that's just
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Wow.
does. Everyone says, but if
I've
you
read
get
that
this,
so many times, but it never clicked until yeah.
but yeah, so it's like, okay. So even after this, because that's what people want to say. When you get that paper in your hand, you're divorced. No, that paper just gives you a separation. There is no such thing as a clear-cut divorce in a covenant marriage because that bond, that vow binds you until death.
Now,
So
even if both parties were in the world and had no idea about this covenant because they were not in Yah at all, and
they're
go
still judged on the same law,
okay,
though.
okay, all right.
Right? So Yah is still the Almighty. So even if that they were pagans and they got married by Pastor Porkchop and they it doesn't matter. Yah still
It's
saw
a
the
vow.
vow.
Yeah, it's the
Makes total
vow you make.
sense. Yeah.
So if you make a vow with someone that you're going to be together in marriage, that's still a vow. And so we also have to
Whether you're
understand
in the Torah or not.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to understand what a divorce certificate is as well. And it's just a separation to allow for repentance.
Yeah.
And so people always want to bring up, what was it, Deuteronomy 23 or whatever?
24.
Well, or yeah, 24.
That's a
And it's
warning.
speaking. Yeah, well, first of all, it's a warning, and second, it says if she goes and marries another, that's an abomination.
But they
So
changed it to she may go.
yeah,
Like, there's a
exactly.
big difference right there.
Yeah,
She
could you
may
imagine?
go and marry another. But
Yeah.
in the Hebrew, it says, and she goes and marries another. So there's
Yeah. If you could present this one of these Shabbats, that would be so nice. We definitely.
absolutely.
Okay, awesome.
I mean,
And
it's a big trigger for a lot of people. So,
I know, but it is part of his law.
I
It's a
know.
law. It's right there in his law.
It's an important one to understand. It really is. He showed me the ins and outs, ups and downs. I can't even tell you how many nights I stayed up and how many mornings I woke up to study it. It it really is a big deal to him. And
It is.
it's really sad because I know so many people in this particular act. And they're not bad people, they're not. They're just deceived. But could you imagine being in that position? I know
And
I
what?
was saved from that position because I don't think I could ever deal with doing something like that. Like you think this is the love of your life and you've been with them for so many years and 6 kids later
And you find out that you're in a.
that they've been married before. I mean,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
but that's what Messiah said in Matthew 19. And nobody in any teaching that I've ever witnessed before in my life will ever go over this particular verse. They will leave it out. They will ignore it. After he said, except I say to you, whoever divorces his wife, except on the grounds of sexual immorality, and marries another, commits adultery, and whoever marries her who has been divorced commits adultery. Now, nobody knows that exception clause actually goes back to Torah. So I'm going to take it out really quick and just let it say what it says. And I say to you, whoever divorces his wife and marries another commits adultery, and whoever marries her who has been put away commits adultery. Now that, except for sexual immorality, that's porneia in the Greek. The only other time that it's used in the Greek is Paul in 1 Corinthians 5, where he gives an example of sexual immorality about, somebody sleeping with their near of kin. So like someone's, I forget, hold on, let me pull it up. 1 Corinthians, where the heck is it? Oh,
you're
1
either or next
Corinthians
to. Oh,
5
go ahead.
is, it's commonly reported that there is sexual immorality among you. Such sexual immorality that is not even named among the nations, so as to have his father's wife. So if you go back to Leviticus 18, that's where it's found. So now you know what sexual immorality is. Because when you go back and you find it in that list, you know exactly what sexual. So you have a list of what exact adultery, Fornication. Well, I mean, adultery is kind of in there. It's in Leviticus 20 because you are
Well,
technically in sexual immorality when you're remarried.
yeah, that's what I was going to
Yeah.
say. Adultery, as defined by Scripture,
Yeah.
is if someone is separated and divorced and you
Yeah.
go and remarry them. That's
Correct.
adultery.
So back
That is
to
an illegitimate marriage. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
correct. No, you're right. No, that's completely it. And that's why this verse is so critically important to understand because he's saying, okay, well, whoever divorces his wife, except if you're in a homosexual relationship, you could remarry. He's saying, whoever puts away his wife, except if you're married to your cousin. Whoever divorces his wife, except if you're married to, something that violates the sexual immorality laws. And actually, in the Dead Sea Scrolls, it doesn't say, like, if you sleep with someone, like Leviticus does. It actually says if you're married to someone, which is really interesting.
Yeah, it says it in
So,
the Dead Sea
Wow.
Scrolls.
so that's your exception. So it's like, all right, so say if I was gay, right? And I was married to a lesbian, okay? Because the state rules that could be plausible right now. Okay? Well, I can divorce her, cut the ties, and I am able to remarry because I was never one flesh with her. That was
It was illegitimate, basically.
illegitimate.
Just
So
like in my
everyone wants to,
situation in the past that
right,
I explained to you. Because
right.
the marriages, they weren't marriages. They were illegitimate because they were the ones in adultery. I was in fornication because I
Mhm.
married someone who was in adultery because they
Correct.
divorced. Because the people that I had married, I'm not proud of
Mhm.
it. I was, but they had already previously been married. I never been married to
Well,
somebody who had never been married.
I was exactly in this, I was never married to these people. I was in fornication, but I was with like both of my kids' fathers were married before me.
Yeah, and
So
same with my exes. Yeah,
praise Yah for his love and protection.
yeah.
Okay? That he saved me from being with these men. Praise Yah! Like,
Yeah, I am so
seriously.
glad. You know what? I've had the most peace. This has been the time in my life where I've had the most peace ever, was just me and yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because those definitely were not peaceful. I mean, it was out of order. It was illegitimate. It wasn't. Oh, I have been the happiest for this past 13 years. Just me and Yah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the way it's supposed to be, because even Paul says it's just better off to be single. Like, when you come to faith, it's just better off to be as you are. Because
Yeah.
you're just, you're focused on him. You're not trying to, like, get into a covenant and trying to, like, interwoven, because you're blessed with so much truth.
Mm.
And that's why, unequally yoked. Like, a couple years ago, when I first came to Zadok, someone wanted to date or marry me, like, literally almost bought a ring and was out the door, like, ready to come and whisk me off my feet. And I started to post about the Zadok stuff. And he was like, "Oh, you're not doing that." I was like, "Well, we're not getting married." like,
Wow.
like it was a turning point. It was like, no, I know the whole thing about being unequally yoked, and
Oh, and you could especially find that even in amongst Torah people, you could be so
yeah.
unequally yoked, especially in amongst Torah people. I'm telling you, this is a very, very narrow walk. The one this little family is on here.
Oh
Oh my
my
goodness.
goodness.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's
But
why I'm
wait,
like,
wait, let me finish. Wait, let me finish off this verse because it's
oh,
so
I'm sorry.
critical.
Yep. Go
No,
ahead.
no, no, it's so good. So he makes it clear whoever divorces his wife and marries another, it's adultery. Whoever marries her who has been putting away. He also in Mark 10 makes it clear that even if It's the man too. So it's either sex, by the way. But listen to this part. This is where people cut it off at, right? His taught one said to him, if such is the case of a man with his wife, it is good not to marry. How do you explain away that verse?
You can't. You really can't.
Like, they got the picture. Do you see that? Why would they make such a bold statement like that? Like, it's not even good to marry if this is the case. And then he said to them, not all receive this word, but only to those who it's been given. Now listen to this part. They won't include this either. This is the kicker. For there are eunuchs who were so born in their mother's womb, and there are eunuchs who were made eunuchs by men. Boom, right here. But there are eunuchs who have made themselves eunuchs. That means they castrated themselves. They stopped sleeping around. They don't use their, sexual body parts anymore. Right? And there are eunuchs that have made themselves eunuchs for the sake of the reign of heaven. He who is able to receive it, let him receive it. And I was like, when I read that, and every single divorce remarriage teaching that ever came on, I was like, no wonder why they never mention that verse. They can't. They literally can't. Because it's an end-all, be-all.
Powerful. Wow.
That's huge.
Now,
That's huge.
Katrina,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let you talk me into cutting my balls off.
You don't have to
Oh,
do
God.
that.
What? Well, no, definitely.
No.
Just don't use your
That
balls.
just means not to use it anymore.
Don't use the balls.
Yeah,
Don't
not
use them.
actually literally
I mean,
castrate yourself.
yeah,
That's so funny, Lee.
Oh yeah,
not
that is
eunuch as
hilarious.
in castration eunuch. Just
Listen,
the
I'll
eunuch
never
as
tell anyone to castrate themselves. Here and now. Make this
This means not
known.
to use anymore.
Just don't use it.
I'm just messing with you.
But isn't that something, though? That's the
Yeah.
verse that,
Yeah.
nobody in all of their teachings will talk about. I've looked at every single one of them. They'll never address that verse. Never talk about it. Why?
You can't get around it.
Yep, because they freaking put putting away in divorce certificate. Well, if you put away your wife and you don't give her the divorce certificate, that's adultery. But if you give your wife a divorce certificate and put her away, then but they don't understand that divorcing, putting away, kicking her out of the house and giving her, that's whole one process. They're dividing it in two. They're doing word games with the text. And Messiah was so clear. And yeah, you're right. I should do a whole video on this because it is literally one of the most important things to understand in our generation, because our generation, it's nothing more than homosexuality rampant. You sit here and preach about homosexuality, but you're in your second marriage. Check yourself.
Oh, for sure. Wow.
Because adultery is in the top 10. That's a big one.
That's why it's so important.
So if you married a woman that had been married for 3 years and you divorced her, you're not guilty?
Go ahead. Wait, what was that?
So if you married a woman that had been married 3 times and you divorced her, you're not guilty?
You're absolutely not guilty. You're free.
Yeah, because she was previously married.
Because she had a previous husband 3 times. So,
yeah.
I mean, as long as their first, so the legitimate spouse is her first husband, as long as he wasn't remarried. So, I mean, that's probably a hard call, but
And
Yeah,
if
you never
the
know.
previous husband or wife remarried, that still doesn't release you from the covenant you made with that person, right?
Right. They have to be dead.
Yeah.
They literally have to be dead. A lot of people, that's the judgment call that I'm talking about. When they divorce people, thinking, oh, they cheated on me, that gives me a right to remarry. No. I mean, I know someone who actually raped his daughter. And I know that's the most ugliest thing that could ever possibly happen. But they're still married. And they both have to make that decision. Well, I don't want him around my kids, but I'm never going to remarry again. And that's
So then
fine.
you just do a legal separation type thing.
Correct.
Just never
Correct.
remarry
Yeah,
because
because if
he's a
someone ever
danger
did
to
that
the
to me,
child.
I would
Oh
have,
yeah.
there's not much. I mean, that would take
Right.
a
they,
lot of forgiveness on my part.
exactly. That's a detestable act.
Well,
So
it is. You would never be able to trust that person around your child or any child. It's just
Put around my children after that happened once.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you could definitely divorce, but it's just a separation. However, you cannot remarry because you have that covenant. So it's important to know who you're marrying, right? It's really important to know and to be aware. And, back in biblical days, it was the father's discretion. And sometimes that didn't even matter, but you're still held to that covenant, especially if the father gives you away. And
yeah,
then what would happen, like if there is a divorce for the woman, they would have to go back to their family members. So they are constantly protected. They would be provided for if they're doing the right thing and going to the place where they needed to go. And they would be provided for Yah if something like that should happen. But they need to have faith that Yah is going to provide and protect. Because part of this whole thing is just the testing of our faith, right? So these bad things happen to us. It's like, well, how much are we being tested, and how much faith are we going to have in these particular moments? So that's
Well,
why it's
I
really
think
important.
it's Father leading us to the right person because of Jacob. He said, look, if or Rachel draws water from the camels, he would know. So I'm sure he sought Father over it. Father showed him that this is the right one, and then they married.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's proper biblical way. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But not a lot of people have that kind of discernment like he did. So,
Sure.
but we're
Yah would
still stuck.
seriously have to whack me over the head to
Yeah.
let me know, hey, this is the person I want you to be with, literally, because after everything that I've been through, oh yeah, it's going to take a miracle of Yah if he has somebody for me. I mean, he would have to knock me over the head.
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. That's why it's just really important to know. It's just because we don't want to. Because, I mean, look at how many, failed marriages, and praise Yah that they did fail, right? I mean, we have to thank him even through these hard times, because honestly, he was just trying to help you, to show you, get the heck out of there, you know?
Which book was it in the Old Testament where there was a lot of adulterous marriages and the both spouses wanted to do what was right, and so they had to end up separating even though they had children?
Nehemiah
Okay, thank you.
chapter 8.
Nehemiah 8.
Yeah. And that's the
And
thing too. Back then, these things were a sin punishable by death.
right, it's
So
a death sentence.
yeah. So back then, of course you'd be free to remarry because they would no longer be alive. So you'd be free to remarry.
Not all the
Today,
time.
well,
I
not
mean,
all the
look at what
time,
happened
no,
with,
but
yeah, David. I mean, David had to repent from
yeah,
all of his
well, yeah.
wives. At the end
Well,
of David's death, I mean, with all the women that he had, he was found with no woman at the end of his life. There was Ashbag that actually had to come and keep him warm because he was in such a cold state. And even like one of the wives were there, and you could tell she was there, and she was just like bitching and complaining about something, but at the same time, like, you could tell he repented from all of those marriages at the end of his death, because the only sin that was accounted to David was the murder. So all those extra wives he had to have repented of. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not written, it's not clear, but it is there. Like you could see it. And even with Jacob and his illegitimate wives, like when you go throughout his life and you see the issues that he had, like it wasn't good, right? You see, like, even the deaths of his beloved, he wasn't buried with her or anything. Like,
yeah, exactly.
like,
So,
the scriptures were written for us to learn from. So when we see Jacob having all these marital issues with all these wives, and even though he was tricked and deceived, it still doesn't make it right. Like, he was literally just deceived and showing us what not to do.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. And a lot of people, they try to use King David as some kind of role model for, polygamy or having more than one wife. He was literally breaking Torah because in the Torah it says, as a king, you shall not take more than one wife. And here we have David, killing and murdering to take people's wives and, committing adultery, all kinds of things, fornication. And yeah, he died, or it wasn't until he was on his deathbed that he repented of all that. And a lot of people nowadays, they try to make excuses for why, polygamy is okay. And they even have some sisters falling for it too, and it's really sad. These sisters are in there like, oh yeah, it's cool to have more than one wife. I'll be a second and third wife. And it's like, whoa, that's. But that was only allowed in these certain situations for Yahuah's will to be done. And it, like Jacob, he wasn't taking both of them because he was trying to fulfill some desire. No, he was tricked into two wives. Abraham, he was unable to have children with Sarah, so she gave him the handmaiden. Then they got sent off. So people try to use Gideon as well. But we see Gideon when he took a bunch of wives. That's when they started to falter and fall by the way. And once he repented of that, everything
Yeah,
started
Ezra
getting
10 too.
Yeah, exactly. And so people, they want to isolate certain verses and say, oh, well, look, he allows laws for it. And one of those laws is what we read earlier today, is according to Torah. So let's say if I had a little brother and he just got married, and then all of a sudden he died for some reason, and then he didn't have kids. So according to the Torah law, me or one of my other brothers would have to take her for a wife to carry on our brother's name. So that is the law that Torah is talking about when it speaks about if you have more than wife, don't put one above the other, things like that. Because it was an allowance for certain situations that would arise, like the one I just described. And people, I don't know how we got on the subject, but yeah, no, people will twist and isolate verses and try to promote polygamy and say it's fine and dandy, and it's really not. And when you try to show them, hey, this is not cool, they get really upset and defensive.
I'm sure that's why there were many widows,
Yeah.
because they wouldn't raise up their brothers or take their brothers' wives, and other reasons.
Well, yeah, and you didn't have to take her as a wife, but
No.
it was an allowance in the Torah that if you did, you would be able to carry on your brother's name.
Yes.
So yeah, there's certain stipulations that would allow for it, yes. But the stipulation is not to fulfill some kind of lustful desire in your head. Like that's we should be dying to that kind of stuff. Like and unfortunately all the men who, push polygamy, they got these 2 wives, 3 wives, who knows how many. And they're always, you can tell by their fruits. They have these rotten fruits.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Like Messiah said, it's always meant to be one man and one woman.
Yeah. From the
That's
beginning.
it. It's like tearing your flesh apart. Like, as someone said in the comments, it's like, I could never have my husband be with another wife. I mean, it's literally tearing your flesh into 2. You're now not, like, working as echad. Now you have, like, someone else in the game. That doesn't even make sense. It's not even logical.
Well, the example was set in the garden. He gave Adam one wife.
Exactly. And that's it.
One. That's it. One wife. And everyone wants to talk about Moses too, with Sapphira. I think it's just this same person, different names.
Yeah, Moses only had the one wife. That's the thing. And they call her that because of, what we actually talked about earlier, which is why we don't see, Moses's children mentioned. It's because they all look down upon her. Because she was, why can't I think of the name? Can't think of the name of the tribe she was from, or the people.
Right, yeah, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, speaking of wives and stuff like that, I think this might be part of the Jewish mysticism that's crept in, you remember hearing about Lilith, supposedly the teaching that y'all had given Adam a wife before Eve, and it was Lilith. Have you ever heard of that crazy teaching?
That's definitely 100% Jewish mysticism.
Yeah, because nowhere in scriptures does any of that. I mean, there's no witnesses to any of that at all. Absolutely none. In fact, they make out this Lilith to be some kind of, even in today's world, in all the teachings in this new age, which really isn't new age, but it paints her as being very devilish.
Yeah. New age is old age repackaged.
Yep. Nothing new under the sun.
Yeah. No, I've heard about it, and yeah, it's not scriptural. There's, like you said, there's nothing else to back any of that up.
Well, even in the book of Esther, they never found Esther in the Qumran, but not once in the whole book of Esther is Yah's name ever mentioned. That's also concerning.
Yeah, not. And Esther herself was in remarriage adultery.
Exactly.
So
She wouldn't be a woman of Yah if she was doing that. Exactly. Good point.
So
are we sure that was Esther, not Easter?
Yeah, I know, right?
Right.
The fertility god that's reproduced more and more.
Yeah. Good point, Lee.
That's true. And all the fasts that they do, they're doing it for themselves. They don't give Yahuah credit for anything.
Yeah, you never once hear his name in that whole book.
Yeah. And then, there's they invent Purim in there and just kind of toss it in so everybody thinks, oh, Purim, it's this festival we have to celebrate. No, it's not.
I've heard of Purim, but I never looked into it. What is Purim again? What do the Jews celebrate? What is it? Does it have to do with Esther?
Yeah, it's all about Esther. What is it? I don't observe it, so I don't. I'd have to read Esther again. But it's another festival that they add in, just like Hanukkah, things like that.
Okay, yeah.
And the thing is, we don't see these festivals in the Dead Sea Scrolls at all. Like Purim's not in there. Hanukkah's not in there. Why? Because that's a Maccabean thing, the usurpers thing.
The usurpers, yeah.
Yep. And the usurpers added in Esther, so they can say, "Oh, look, we can do fasts and not give Yahuah any praise, and we'll just add this festival in here. It's all good." Nope. Yeah, the deception's really deep. Honestly, it's wild.
I have to get the kids, well, children. I don't want to say kids. I have to get the children to bed. I'm going to be here listening, but have a good night, everybody. I might fall asleep.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to head off too. I've got some things I need to do for tomorrow, but love you all. Thanks again. Yeah. It's always such a blessing to be with my family. I love you guys. Thank you again.
Absolutely. Much love. And
much love to you guys too.
We'll all say shalom so Jeremy can rest.
Shalom all.
And I was probably going to end it there for this evening as well. We've been going for, what is it? So we have 9 hours so far.
Wow.
Praise Yah. Love
Praise
it.
Yah. Yeah, me too. So, I got a lot of videos to upload. This is the third video for our discussion today, or our fellowship today. So 2 4-hour ones, and now an hour and 4 minutes. So praise you. Anyways, amazing discussion, amazing fellowship, and I love the coming together. and figuring these things out and finding new things to study into. So we found a couple of those today as well. Praise Yahuah. But yeah, maybe this week we can probably do a discussion about the little season of deception. I'll have to get with Miranda
That
and
would be
see,
good.
yeah, see what day is good for Miranda so she can be able to share her input.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. Real quick before I get off.
Yeah.
So I have a next door neighbor. He loves to hear me blow the shofar, and he's a musician, right? I mean, he took a saxophone all throughout junior high, high school. He's pretty good, actually. And so to get my attention, I'll hear him start playing the saxophone right outside my doors to get me to come out and say, "Hey."
Awesome.
Cracks me up. Oh, I love
That's
the
funny.
saxophone. It just, huh?
It's awesome. That's funny.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's like he'll start to play and he knows that gets my attention. Anyways, okay, good night, y'all, and shalom.
Yeah, shalom. Thank you everybody for joining. Much love to everybody. Uh, like I said, I'll probably schedule sometime this week and we can discuss, go over this little season thing. And then, of course, I'm going to be working on getting those videos of the chapters of my article up on my YouTube this week as well. So, yeah, if we don't see you before next Sabbath, we'll always meet on the Sabbath day. So, same time, same place next week, and I'll try to schedule something up in between here so we can discuss that. Yeah, everybody, thank you for joining. Pray you have a good rest of your evenings or your day, wherever you are at. And we will see you all next time.